My name is Jessica Rojas, and our group had the Alderian Theory. Just a little bit about Alfred Adler. He was the third child out of 8 kids. He developed rickets early on in his life, which limited his ability to walk. He was a part of Sigmund Freud's small group of colleagues, which focuses on the psychoanalyst approach. However, he was the first one to branch away and formed his independent school of psychotherapy and personality theory. Just a little bit about the theory. It is a phenomenological approach, which basically means that they focus on the situation in the client's shoes and considers human beings as individuals. He was the first to emphasize the importance of social envelopment and the readjustment process. His theory focuses on goals and encouragement mostly, and thus the individual is striving for self-development and social meaning. So, a little bit about Letty's situation. She's the client, and she's a 28-year-old female. Early on in her teenage years, she was raped by her uncle and her grandfather. And whenever she would tell her mom was in denial this whole thing was happening. She had to be the maternal mom to her sister because the mom left her and her sister for different boyfriends later on in the development of their adolescence. Because of this, whenever the mom would have different boyfriends in the house, Letty would run into the closet and hide and hold her breath. This helped her cope from different feelings she was having. And however, she does want a kid. She has a husband as of today, and they're going through marital problems, and her husband's really worried about her because she's been developing a drinking issue, which has been altering her feelings toward him. So they want some counseling on that. And also, Letty has been wanting to reconnect with her mom. That's one of her main goals throughout the counseling sessions. Also, Letty, she was going to school. She dropped out because she needed money to help her sister and her survive, and she wants to go back. So that's another main goal that she has during the counseling sessions.
Letty, welcome to our session number 3. So in the last session, we discussed a little bit about your childhood, not too much, and then you brought up your mom, but that was a topic that you didn't want to cover at the moment, and that's fine. So is that something that you would like to cover today? That you would like to talk about a little more?
I don't feel comfortable yet talking about her. No.
Okay, and that's fine. Like I said, these sessions are for you. So any topic that you would like to discuss today, you can go ahead and bring it up. Is there something on your mind?
Not really. I guess, but it's not. There's been issues with me and my husband for a while. I don't see why. I think I'm pretty good. I think we've just been a little separate. We've been distant seeing each other, like, yeah.
Okay. So the relationship hasn't been the same, and you said for a while now, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you fine if we move on and go ahead and talk a little bit about your childhood, maybe?
Yeah, we can try that.
So you had discussed and you had said, not too much detail, but you explained how you didn't have such a great childhood. Now, are you okay if we maybe try something? So let's say for example, if your story or if your childhood was to be a book, okay, would you be able to describe to me the characters in the story that played an important part, and maybe just 3 words to describe them?
Like a good part, because there would be no characters.
Okay, no good or bad. Whoever played a part in your childhood.
Well, my mom. She wasn't there. What can I say? She neglected us. chose other people over us. She abandoned us. There's my dad. He was abusive. He was very abusive. Can I skip one for a little bit?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Not gonna get any easier though. There's my uncle, and he drank. He didn't have kids. And there was my grandpa. They hurt me. Can I have they molested me when I was young. So, yeah. Can we talk about something else for a little bit?
I know that, and this is difficult for you. I can tell. You know, I can tell by, you know, how your posture changed, and you kind of seem a little apprehensive about talking about it, and that's okay. I know that you had discussed your sister, so did you want to maybe talk about your sister?
Yeah, I raised her. You know, I was young. I was about 17 when my mom left us because she chose a guy over us. But I took care of my sister. I had to drop out of school though because we needed money, and I needed to go to work. So she was my motivation to pull forward and to, you know, get us through this, because my dad wasn't there. My uncle and my grandpa sure as heck weren't going to be there, and, you know, my mom didn't care. So, yeah, she's the only family I have. But, you know, even though my mom wasn't part of our lives and she chose men over us, I want to build that strength, and I want a better understanding to be able to forgive her, and maybe one day build a relationship with her. So that's something I would maybe want to work on.
So you took on a lot of responsibility at a young age, it sounds like.
I had to.
Okay.
I didn't have a choice.
And you had said that you wanted to, you know, see you brought up your husband and your relationship with him, so that's something that you value a lot, is your relationship with your husband as well, along with, you know, mending that relationship with your mom.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, I guess I kind of know why we're having a little bit of issues, you know, because I had to drop out of school because I would get anxiety attacks, so I couldn't be in the classroom. You know, this is kind of, you know, throwing me back a little bit, but I'm maintaining. But, you know, I kind of started drinking a little bit, you know, on the weekends, and kind of started going towards the weekdays. So that might have an issue, maybe, with the reason why we're having problems. And there's a couple more things.
So he doesn't agree with you drinking?
No. I think he thinks that maybe I'm drinking too much.
Okay. So he doesn't agree with you drinking?
No. I think he thinks that maybe I'm drinking too much.
Okay. So is it, I mean, what do you see him maybe trying to address to you? Like he just thinks that you drink a lot. So is it that he's maybe worried about you, or is it, how are you feeling about it?
How would that even feel?
How does it feel now that you talk about it? To think that he's you know, maybe concerned about you, about your well-being, and he wants the best for you.
That he actually cares.
have you shared with him, you know, about your childhood and what you've gone through, and he's aware, you know, everything that you've been through, with reaching your goals academically, and but have you talked to him about your childhood?
No. What about if he? I'm afraid he might not accept me if he knew what really happened. I'm afraid that might truly break us.
Is that something that you would, and only if you feel comfortable, is that something that you would feel comfortable maybe, you know, trying to share with him, and maybe discussing a little bit, just, you know, to explore maybe what are the issues with your guys' relationship, and maybe he can understand you better, or you can understand him better?
I would want to explore that with him, because I don't want to lose him. He's the only one that's ever been there for me, and maybe I should try to open up to him and let him know more of me, to have a better understanding. If that would help our relationship, then yeah, I would try.
So that says a lot about you, you know, valuing your relationship and wanting to move forward with him. So let's go ahead and, because we are coming to an end to our session, then how about next week, whenever we meet, you can update me and let me know how that went, if you were able to share anything, and, you know, how that felt, and maybe even reflect on him caring about you and being concerned about you. Okay. Thank you so much. We'll see you next session.
Thank you.
So Letty, welcome to our session number 4. And so in the last session, we went ahead and we discussed how you were having issues with your husband. You had been having issues for a while. And we talked about you possibly opening up to him a little bit more about your childhood, and, you know, how he would react to that. Was that something that you were able to discuss with him?
Actually, since our last session, you helped me see things that I've never even saw before or even thought of. So it really did help me.
And I'm glad about that. And so, as I had told you before, you know, in your experiences and everything, I'm not the expert. So that's why, you know, bringing up your childhood, and that was part of me understanding, you know, your history and where you come from. And so I'm glad that helped you out. So you were able to see how your husband understood you, and how did you feel about that?
I'm still not used to it, to be honest with you, but it feels nice. It's different. We actually were able to talk for a while, which we haven't done in a long time. And I was able to open up to him finally and tell him everything, and tell him what happened to me when I was young. And it's something that I've never told anybody before. So he supported me, and he actually said that he'll go with me to support groups and help me get past this, and that we can get past this.
I'm glad to hear that. So that can be something that we can go ahead and see, you know, maybe on our next session, what progress you guys have made together, and how you guys' maybe conversations can be a little more, you know, provide a little more communication between you guys.
Yeah. I've actually cut back on drinking too, so I'm not drinking so much.
And that was one of your goals.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that.
Yes. I'm very happy. He's very happy. You can see it. And you can see it in both of us. So yeah. So maybe we can touch back on the next session, maybe back to my mom.
Letty has made major progress following her counseling sessions. Her and her husband are both attending victims of sexual assault meetings, and it has really helped Letty on her journey, having her husband there by her side. They have been talking about adoption, so since Letty wanted a kid, and he wants a kid as well, they've been talking about adoption, so that's a good thing. And Letty is going back to school. She wants to be a counselor for women going through the same thing she has went through when she was a kid. She has developed a relationship with her mom again, and they're connecting. She let her mom know that she's willing to go to family functions and like gatherings as long as the grandfather and the uncles aren't there, because she's just not ready to face them like that yet. And yeah, she's limiting her drinking. She doesn't have to drink excessively anymore. She's just limiting on occasion and with her husband. And her husband are having more communication about just in general issues that are going on. So yeah, Letty is doing really good now.